So, in fact, I'm Gilles Debache. I work for Dassault Aviation. Dassault Aviation is an aircraft manufacturer. We produce aircraft such as Falcon, Rafale, near 2000, and perhaps some others I don't remember. So here you have my avatar on Facebook and so on, my phone number, my mail address. And the purpose of this speech, I will be very short, is to remember that we are doing a very common sample selection bias. I have made this presentation at Dassault Aviation, and I have reused this presentation for today. It's important to understand that an industrial, as Dassault Aviation, is mainly concentrated on the economic aspect of the investment it has to do. And when something is done, it's because it's not possible to avoid it. Okay? And the issue for an industrial is why to record events in which there were nothing. So it's a spend of money, and it is it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time to analyze that. So the purpose of this presentation is just to remember what is the value of this type of data. So my presentation is in 3 parts, just to speak about the context of the analysis we have conducted with the participation of BayesiaLab, a reminder of the value of the non-findings, and just a conclusion, how is it possible to trade between the fact that we need the no findings to analyze our findings, and how is it possible to save money by doing what is relevant and no more. So in this presentation, here we have Rafale, but imagine it could be also business jet, for example, and we record for records. Then there is a data preparation, always. And then we have used BayesiaLab as machine learning. Normally, machine learning is analyzing the data and to deduce models. Here we have models, usable models, active models. Here we have used this model but we have used these models to produce full signatures. What is a signature? A signature is a set of symptoms which highlight a failure, and we consider that the failure is a hidden state of a piece of equipment. So, normally, usually, an industrial wants that one symptom means one failure. But sometimes, quite often, it's not possible for economical reason or for physical reason. And quite often we have a situation in which a symptom means something only when it is associated with other symptoms. So the meaning of the symptom changes with the association. So, in fact, what is relevant is the set of symptoms which highlight this failure or this failure. I simplify. I consider the signature designates one failure. Sometimes it could designate some failures, but we will simplify this. So we have candidate for signatures. But within the solution, we are very clever, and we have already a signature repository due to mainly, for example, the analysis of the definition of the aircraft. We know well the aircraft. It's not true. We don't know where is the aircraft. We know where the aircraft we would like to have. And here we have the behavior of what we have produced. So we start quite often. The aircraft that we thought to have is in accordance at what the aircraft we have, and sometimes we have new fault signatures. So in fact, there is a screening process. We have here a screening process. We compare the signature repository with the candidate signatures identified through non-supervised analysis. So in fact, we have two treatments. The first one I have named machine learning, and the second one, screening, for which we use a technology such as similarity distance. And if we consider now the performance of the process, I propose two metrics. The first one is the flow, and the second one is the value added. The flow is the number of signatures which are identified as new. They are not within the signature repository. So if we have, for example, 100 signatures within the signature repository, in the experimentation we have made some years ago, we have roughly 10% of flow. It is not 10% of the candidate signatures, it is that we have 10% that could be added to the 100 signature already existing in the repository. And then we have an analyze, our experts analyze these signatures, and they state if these signatures, they provide a value. For example, if you have a signature such as when you have a failure of the engine, all the other pieces of equipment are in failure, it is not fast, but a mechanist with a good preparation, a good formation from the ground or others, it's obvious, okay? So it's not, there is no value. And in fact, we have, for example, for the Rafale, we have less than 2% of value, 10%, it means if we have 100 signature keys, I have to add 2. And remember that the Rafale is an aircraft which is 20 years old. So we have applying lessons learned from many times. So this could explain this type of results. There are also type of explanations. So what is important to see is that we have two ways to screen to reduce the quantity of information. It's by using machine learning, we have the signatures and we have the screening. And what is economic value? It's where we'll analyze at this level, not flight per flight, as we used to do, but we will analyze the parameters about these signatures regarding the flights and the time where the signature appears on these flights. So, in terms of economical rationality, is very important. So, it is the first answer concerning the economical aspect. And then we will see. So, remember, it is an explanation I made to my general, my vice presidents. So, just to explain, it's that in fact, when you have a dependency, it is not causal. So I think that everyone here knows that. So I will go. So I have used this example. We have recorded within the Rafale or within the Falcon a symptom, lightning. We have recorded another symptom, thunder. And the experts say, in fact, when we have these two symptoms, these faults, it means that the storm the failure storm arrived. And I have modeled with an Excel sheet these relationships. I said that in 1% of time we have lightning, and if we have lightning quite often, if you have lightning, thunder appears in 95% of time, and thunder could appear without lightning in 1% of time, and so on and so on. And because we would like to check that we are able to identify dependencies, true dependencies, and we would like also to check we are not identifying false dependencies. So we introduce two other parameters, day and night, sea and land. We said that day and night is 50%, and sea is 80% of the area of the Earth, and the Earth 20%. And these parameters, these symptoms, we imagine it's symptoms within the Rafale, we know they are not linked to the fact that we have a storm or not. In this scenario, perhaps someone from Meteo will accelerate. Okay. And I have propagated this in roughly more than 360 lines in an Excel sheet. And after we have ranking this, and we have also day, night, lightning, thunder, sea, land. For people speaking English, you have the ability to learn some French words here. Okay? And what we are pleased is that we identify the relationship between thunder and lightning, and we have no additional dependencies. We have no link between day, night, and thunder. We have no link between other. And remember that when we have built the Excel sheet, these links doesn't exist. There is only a link between thunder and lightning. So we are pleased. We have the good results. And I said to my vice president, okay, but this, we want to save money, so we have not to record that. Remove that. No interest, there is nothing. And the tool didn't identify the link between lightning and thunder. So, it is not a good tool. First hypothesis. Second hypothesis, it is right. And why? In what? First explanation. First explanation, if I have quite often lightning and if I have quite often thunder, the fact that they arrive simultaneously is common. It doesn't mean there is a dependency. So I agree. Another explanation: when you are a child, you listened at school that if you have no thunder and if you no thunder implies no lightning, is equivalent that lightning imply thunder. So you have two ways, two mathematical theory, the statistics. If an event arrives quite often, it is normal that it could arrive with another event which arrives quite often. And so we have another theory, which is a logical theory. It is not linked to the probability, but they say the same thing, probably because they are trying to explain the same thing, the true world we are living in. So, okay, so they are convinced this by this explanation. And I would like just to remember that the random paradox is exactly this. The conclusion of Ample is, in fact, that if, for example, you find, you consider that a raven is black, so if you find an object or an animal which is not black, you have to check it is not a raven to ensure that, okay, a raven is black. So it is very curious, it is not usual, but it is mathematically point of view, it is what we have to do. And I am not pleased because on Wikipedia, I have seen improve. Observing objects that are neither black nor ravens improve the weight of evidence in favor of the hypothesis that all ravens are black. Improve. It means that you have the proof before, and so you improve. No, it's necessary. I ask that Wikipedia, as this article has to be changed. First point. Second example, Sir Francis Bacon is well known as the man who introduced the induction theory, the induction thing. And before Francis Bacon, the principle was the deduction. Aristotle, all the men they will die, Socrates is a man, as a result, Socrates will die. Okay, this is a deduction. And Francis Bacon said, okay, but in fact, if we want to learn something, the way is the induction. We observe and we induce facts. And he wrote a book, he explains that, and he said, to apply this method, there is no probability at this moment. Remember, induction is before probability. He said, it is required to record all the phenomena we have observed, and so this is a presence table. And also, when it doesn't happen, it is very important. And the example written in his book, if I remember well, he said, okay, I go into a church and I see plenty of gifts from people. They were in danger of dying on the sea, and they pray God, and they survived, and they gave these gifts to the church. Okay. But I would like to see the gifts of people they prayed God and they died on sea. Where are they? So he said that, okay, we can, I can see plenty of gifts like this, but because I don't have this, the induction is false. Could be, should be false. And we have this one in our process is what is analyzed here. We built from the signature, we select the data, and the expert will state if this, what is the value of this information. So, let's see. Of course, we have the presence table, the absence table, and I have two idols, theater idols, which are Francis Bacon and Mr. Hempel. The term idol of theater is coming from Francis Bacon. He said that we have not considered the authors of the past as idols, so we have to criticize them. But because they agree with me, they are my idols. Okay? So it is the end of the presentation. As I said, I am very short. This error is very, very common. Just an illustration, and this illustration is because I've read a book in French, Les décisions absurdes de Monsieur Morel. I don't know if this is translated in English. And he spoke about the Challenger disaster. So the Challenger disaster is because a seal made by a company, Tickle, broke, and the break of these seals, the consequence was a Challenger disaster. So, in fact, there were 3 engineers from Tickle. They have to join a meeting to decide if the Challenger has to be launched or not. And each one of the 3 thought that the 2 others will go, and they don't. So the director of flight, he said, how I do not understand why they say that the seal will fail in cold weather. Because Tickle, the company, said, take care, the seal will fail because the launch is on cold weather. The main reason of the disaster is no one thought that the seal failure is critical. So they don't know that. So it's a problem with plenty of others. And the director of flights, he has no the expert from Tickle, okay? He said to his secretary, say, okay, I would like to see the data. Okay, we have 4 launched by cold weather. Okay, and we have 4 launched from warm weather. And, okay, he said there is no reason to think that launching a Challenger by cold weather, we raise the probability to have a seal failure. He is the director of flight of the NASA. Okay, he has to decide regarding plenty of questions. This one was one of the questions from others. Okay, and after the commission, which examines all the data, they didn't use this table. They used also the non-fadings. Remember that the launch is in Florida. In Florida, the weather is quite often warm rather than cold. In fact, you have 100% of chance to have a seal failure by cold weather, and you have 25% of chance to have a seal failure in warm weather. This to decide the launch, and this analyzed after the disaster. When you have time, you are not on pressure, and with plenty of experts. This common bias is this sample bias is very common, because when you are in an industrial issue, you have no time, you have no money, never enough time, never enough money. So this type of error is very, very common. But I have said to you that we have recorded the faults from the Rafale, and we have the failures. In this chart, we have here not the number of faults, but the number of type. The number of type of signatures. Here you have the number of aircraft, and here the number of flights. It is obvious you can't have more aircraft than flights. This is why this part here is white. The reason. Okay. What we see is that in fact we have plenty of type of signatures, but they are rare. Here the cell is less than 10 aircraft, less than 10 flights. Difficult to have license plans. But in fact, mainly we have rare signatures. And we have we have recorded only the faults, only the signatures. There is no findings in principle. And I was lucky. These faults, these signatures, they are independent, because the Rafale is a very compact aircraft with plenty of functionalities, plenty of equipment. It's very compact. And in fact, when you have a failure in a part of the aircraft, it doesn't mean that it's related to the failure of another. So they are independent. And in fact, we are lucky. When we have a fault, it is an experience of it is a no finding, for the other folks. This is why it works. So in fact, when you have a great diversity of events, it could work. But the reason why I made this presentation to my vice president is if we want to apply this type of analysis on, for example, corrosion, the number of type of corrosions, there are few, and we don't know if they are linked or not. So it's today we are recording only the findings. We are recording only the results from the laboratories. The corrosion appears in this environment. I asked to record. In this environment, there was no corrosion. This was the purpose of my presentation. So, in fact, we have a concrete issue, how to conduct analysis of data with an economical, driven by economical considerations. The first question is the reduction of information is by using machine learning and screening. The second one is to drive the effort. If we see that the flow is lower and lower, and if you see that the value added is lower and lower, it means that the manager will decide if it is interesting to continue to invest or not. That's it.